Looking at the 5 best putting tips that I can give you. So we're going to share with you some key things that are going to make a real difference to your putting. Now, putting makes up around about 40% of your golf shots, so I think it's pretty important that we get as good as we can get putting. And again, there's no physical demands on putting. We can all putt as well as anyone else in the world. Obviously, there's multiple skills within putting to putt well: green reading, pace, hitting the putt on the line, and so on. I'm going to share with you today more mechanical stuff rather than green reading stuff to try and help you be more successful with the flat stick. If you're new to the channel, please follow or subscribe. Also hit the bell icon. Make sure you get notifications whenever I release a new video. So keep tuned to watch the 5 best putting tips that I can give you. So tip number 1 is all about the eyes. And what we're looking at here really is getting the eyes in the location that makes you see a straight line. Now, what happens with a lot of golfers, they believe their eyes should be over the golf ball. Now, in some cases, that is correct. But in other cases, it's actually complete rubbish for you. What I want you to do, and this is a very simple take on it, is use the line on your putter. And if you haven't got a line on your putter, borrow a friend's putter with a line on just to do this simple test, and make sure your eyes line up. The line of the putter and the line on the ball. So I've got simply one of the logos on the golf ball. You can draw a line on, which is even easier to do to see this. I want you to set the line of the putter with the line on the ball. I want you to put your eyes in the location where you feel they match up. And the key is really to move your eyes further away from yourself. And you want to see if they match up or not. Move your eyes back and move your eyes inside. Now for me, my sweet spot's there. So that's where I'd want to be pulling the trigger. And if I look there where my eyes are hanging, they're hanging about an inch or so inside where the ball would be. Now, if we had a mirror, then you could have a mirror and have a line on the mirror and use that as your calibration for your eyes every single time. But you can quite simply just do the same as I've just done there. Move your eyes forward and back. Okay, there's my sweet spot. That's where I am going to hit my putt from. And you do that as your routine each and every time. Tip number 2 is all about the setup. In particular, we're going to look at the weight position within this tip. So a lot of golfers will set up to a putt and stand pretty even. I think even some of them stand with the pressure more on the trail side because they think they have to hit up on the golf ball. Now with putting, the ball's forward in the stance. That makes us hit up on the golf ball. What we want to do is have the weight, 60% of our pressure on the lead foot, to encourage us to swing through the ball and to make sure we get the strike correct. Because the putter's traveling up, it's very easy to hit it too low in the face, and that makes the ball skid and jump even more. We want the roll to be over 90% of its journey. So we're going to say 10% of the journey can be skid and bounce. Ideally, 5 or 6%, but 10% would be probably acceptable for most golfers. And there's various things in the set we're going to do to make sure the ball rolls more. One of them is putting the pressure on the lead foot. As an exercise, what you can do is actually hit some putts on one leg, on the lead leg, just to get the feeling of getting that pressure in the right place. That'll give you a more stable stroke, but also give you the feeling of having that stroke pressure. Other thing you could do, if you want to, and I'm not going to do it today because the green's wet, you could take your lead shoe off and putt with just one shoe on. Particularly a good exercise to do at home. Tip number 3 is all about the grip. I see far too many golfers just hold the putter like they would do a normal golf shot. The thumbs will be rotated over each other like this. They'll have maybe fingers overlapping or interlocking. That's not such a big deal for me, but we definitely want to hold it more in the palms of our hands. We want to feel that the lifeline of our hand is in the middle of the putter grip. And if I put my finger out like this, I want a straight line from my lead finger straight through my hand like that. And it sits in between the two fatty parts of my hand like so. I've got my glove on today, but ignore that. You can put with your glove on or without your glove on. Not really an issue at all. The other thing I like people to do is make sure the thumbs sit either side of the center of the putter grip. I've got a special putter grip on this with a ridge on the top. But if you didn't have that, we still want to feel that our thumbs would sit So the grooves in our hands, a little indent here, they sit into each other. Now if your hands are further apart than that, it's the same relationship, but you just push your hand down or up. So if you're cack-handed or conventional, that doesn't matter. I also like to see that finger stay pointing down. That acts as a bit of a bridge to give us this stability with our lead hand through the hit. When we grip it correctly as well, and when we rotate these palms round the grip, we also want to feel how our elbows are rotated in. This helps connect them to the rib cage, and that helps us pivot arms, body and wrists together. I call it lock and rock. So we're locking it in place and rocking. So that lock and rock grip, hands in position, hands slightly forward, gives us the best opportunity to get the best strike on a putt. Just about. Tip number 4, take a tee, snap the top end off, put it in the end of your grip. Point the snap bit towards your lead hand like so. Then at address, what we want to feel is this gets closer to our lead arm, but also never hits our lead arm, never works away. So we use it as a guide. We can also rotate the tee to our trail arm. And again, we definitely don't want to see you hit the trail arm with the tee now. This will be a disaster move. We want to keep that tee away from our arms when we hit a putt. We want to keep that gap the same, or if anything, increase it to the lead side with a short putt. On a longer putt, it will start to work back. The last tip is all really about start line. And you'll see here I've got 2 tee pegs to form a small gate to fit a ball through. And we place it on a start line. And what you want to do is vary that on different putts. So if you have a right to left putt, you put it on your start line for that and so on. So then it can start to teach you whether you're better at your start line with straight putts or breaking putts, or which one you need to spend more time practicing. The gap between it, if you look at it, is just outside a ball. You can put this gate wherever you want to do it. I would always put it within 3 or 4 putter heads away from the ball. It's a great way to see whether your stroke is performing well or not. So what you're gaining from this is whether the club face is open or closed, and whether the stroke is too much to the right or too much to the left. If you find your stroke is too much to one way, we can then put another tee peg in here and try and guide our stroke to be more in to out or out to in, depending on what we need. Now obviously, with the case of if we were hitting the right hand peg all the time, we're either swinging to the right or the club face is open. Hitting the left peg, cutting across it or the face closed. But really what we want to try and encourage ourselves to do, can we just hit it between those 2 tee pegs every time? Obviously if we miss the hole like that, we haven't lined up the ball on the correct line for that particular putt, or it's a breaking putt and we haven't read it correctly. Again, I just moved the ball back quickly after showing you the gap, just to show you this actual drill. What I sometimes do with players is set up 3 or 4 of these round the hole with different breaking putts and get them to rotate round with one ball. And again, it'll give you an idea of what in your stroke you need to improve on. So we build the fundamentals from the first few things we talked about, and then we test really, can you start the ball online with the correct kind of side spin on the ball? If you need to monitor the side spin more, use a half color ball. That's a great way of seeing if the ball is spinning to the left or to the right. So that's my 5 putting tips. Give them a go. I'm sure it'll reduce your scores. Post down below which one is your favorite tip, and also if you have any feedback for the video or any questions. Please also, if you've enjoyed the video, please like and share the video. It really helps me. Google really love that, and they also love you if you subscribe to the video. Make sure you check out the rest of the videos in this series, the 5 best tips. I've covered the whole game.